Hello everybody and welcome back yet again to another daily update video. My name is CryptoStash and I hope you're having an amazing week. Currently it is Wednesday and let's get right to the charts as we do have some very important things that we need to cover in this video. Now, first of all, Bitcoin is, as you can see, rejecting perfectly from the level that I gave 2 days ago, the 116k level, which was this high right here. I drew this trend line. You can see it still is staying here. I drew it even before price went up here, and as you can see right now we are getting a textbook rejection, and right now we are once again testing the POC of this range right here, which is sitting at 111k, and the value area low, which is at 110.3. So basically what this means for Bitcoin right now is that this bearish structure is still continuing to play. So we might see something like this until we take out the full wick right here, or we actually go lower, basically potentially to $98,000, which is this low right here, which has not yet been swept. So from this high all the way down to this low would be not much. You can see this is basically 15% of a correction, and if we measure it from the top that we had at $126,000, this would be a correction of around 22% or 28,000.3k in price change for Bitcoin, which if we look at historically is nothing compared to the correction that we had from 109 all the way down to 74.7, basically 31%, $35,000 price change. The correction that we had from 74k all the way down to 49,000 was almost 34%, you can see. So if we were to go lower than this level, we need to draw our FIP level from the bottom that we had all the way to the top, and as you can see the 618 golden pocket Fibonacci ratio is sitting exactly at between $94,000 and $92,000, which would be a drop of around 26% or $33,000 in price change. And for deeper corrections, we are going to be looking at 85,000 to 80k, which is, in my opinion, firstly, we want to see this level broken and then potentially a retest of this level before we start talking about those two levels that are to the downside. These are deeper Fibonacci retracements. So basically price mostly tends to retrace to the golden ratio, which is, as you can see right here. And there are also deeper corrections. If price is having more selling pressure, those are the deeper levels where you would want to look for support. Now this would be for Bitcoin my outlook for now. Also something very important, in about an hour we do have the FOMC statement. You can see the meeting would be taking place about 30 minutes later. Jerome Powell would be speaking. So this is, in my opinion, the most important rate cut decision, and also what he will be speaking. If he will tell that the economy is good and there is no inflation, we will see what will happen. Basically, if he sounds sluggish and bearish, the price will of course dump. But if he says some good things, and also because of the government being shut down, it is going to be very, very interesting. Now if you go back into the charts, Ethereum is right now, you can see, falling from the value area high, and the moving averages are still clipping towards the downside. You can see right here we don't have reversal yet, and the most important level still stands for Ethereum. It is around 3,800, basically this trend line, which is very important for yearly resistance, which right now flipped into support. The most important level for Ethereum is going to be this level right here. If we lose it, then, as I have told you, potential retest all the way down to 2,800, basically 3k, is very possible, or we just go down to fill the wick right here, basically this low. You see what happens. Solana is right now pushing below the value area high of the bigger macro range right here. So it is very important that we start to close candles above it. Otherwise we might retest all the way down to the wick basically, or the point of control, basically the POC, where most of the volume has been traded in this range, which is sitting at 145. Hype is, as of right now, the strongest coin, but if you look at it on a hard time frame, it is still potentially very possible that we start rejecting from here. Basically something like this might play out, but as of right now, Hype is the strongest coin out of the alts. Ethereum is also considered strong, since it is basically sitting near 4K, which is basically very nice for Ethereum. Sui is being really weak, as you can see, basically hanging by a thread right here down at the value area low of the bigger macro range, which is something to keep in mind of. And if we go down to fill the wick, this would basically take us to bearish territory of Sui around 70 cents, which would be pretty insane. XRP also showing some strength, trending right here at the moving averages, and if we start rejecting from them, basically if we don't reclaim it, then the other scenario would be range, and then potentially test this bottom right here before potential upside continuation. The stock market, on the other hand, is looking absolutely beautiful. You can see the traditional markets have been going absolutely crazy, but as of right now, on some of the hard time frames, you can see the RSI is starting to get overbought, basically on the S&P 500 and on the Nasdaq. So we might see some pullbacks happening during this FOMC event also on the traditional markets, which would be very interesting, since if they start dumping, Bitcoin will also of course follow. Gold right now, you can see the last 2 days has been bullish after making this low at around 3,892. Is basically right now up another 3.3%. You can see after the RSI got oversold and hit our 20 line right here, the price reversed perfectly on the hard time frames, you can see. So also something to keep in mind of, if gold, in my opinion, starts reversing back up to the upside, we might see Bitcoin getting weaker. And also the same goes for the dollar. If the dollar starts to reverse to the upside, this will also fuel the downside move for Bitcoin. You can see on this dump right here, open interest has been absolutely smashed to the downside. You can see a lot of open interest got flushed out, basically. A lot of long positions got liquidated or closed out right here. CVD, however, is still strong. The delta is still strong. So this is also something to keep in mind of. But in my opinion, if Bitcoin does not hold those levels right here, basically we are going to be seeing lower prices. But right now, as I said, we might see some crazy weeks happening during the FOMC event. We might see even something like this. Anything is possible. There will be a very, very big volatility. So I suggest you either use a very tight stop loss, or just don't trade, like trade an hour after the news, or just don't trade at all. Of course, this is not a financial advice. You always want to do your own research and do your own risk management. You can see the liquidation heat map. We still have some liquidity on top. This is why I'm saying we might get a crazy fake out pump towards the upside, and then we might continue to grab the liquidity which is sitting lower, or we might just straight up dump. Anything is possible, as I said. Now, something very interesting is that the bigger institutions like BlackRock and Fidelity, they are still accumulating. You can see we are getting 59.65 million, and from them, and together for the all day yesterday, over 200 million of Bitcoin ETF inflows on spot. The spot ETF, you can see, has been growing non-stop, and the last time that we had like a bigger correction right here, you can see, was basically during April, where Bitcoin price went all the way down to 74,000. And so if something like this is to happen now, then we might revisit those levels. You can see the Fear and Greed index has been getting back into the fear zone, which is completely normal during this correction. Long versus shorts ratio, we do have a lot of selling pressure. You can see on Hyperliquid, on the decentralized shares, the bigger whales, they are basically 55% of them are short. So this is something to keep in mind of, but overall we have more selling pressure in the market as of today, and also the couple of past days we had overall more selling pressure. Funding rates starting to flip negative, you can see on some exchanges for Bitcoin, which is also something to keep in mind. And I think this covers it for today, guys. I hope you liked it. Subscribe for my channel, and I'll see you again in the next one. Bye.